Most of your problems come because you overthink. And you're probably never told that you overthink. In our world, people that overthink and analyze and compare, and they know all these random facts, it's usually looked up to, like, oh my god, he thinks so much, he's an intellectual, he's the thinker. Usually we dilute ourselves and we trick ourselves and say, yes, I need to think about this, I need to analyze, I need to become the most optimized of anything before I go into that field. If I'm going to work out, I need to be so optimized before I start. If I'm going to go into an industry, into a business, I need to be optimized. I am the thinker, I'm so smart. The reason I can say all this is because I used to be like that. I used to think that because I thought so much, I was so smart, I was, ahead of the curve. But really, most of my problems just came from overthinking all the time. For being honest, in terms of progress, you don't really get that much progress from overthinking. You just end up in this state where you think so much that you end up doing nothing. And because you didn't do anything, you miss out on this opportunity and you're not present. You're in the past and the future. Things that don't exist, they're all in your mind. It's this cycle. I think. I don't act. I get, now I got the future, the past to think about, and I think. I think I'm so smart. I'm going to do something. I need to overanalyze it. I need to think about a strategy, and then I don't go through with it. Thinking has also become a bit of a monster nowadays, where everyone's minds, we're just thinking way too much, and the thinking will literally separate you from being present here in the moment. For example, look at this tree back here. We could think so much that you could be just sitting in front of the tree and you wouldn't notice it because there's like this fog of just thoughts that's got you lost in the sauce, and you're like never even able to see the tree that's right there truly for what it is. You see what I mean? Like your mind, because you are so always in the mind, always thinking, it causes all these made up problems in your mind. For example, you could be sitting here having a good time, you're not in any physical danger, there's really truly nothing wrong. And your mind will be like, I wish I was here, I wish a girl was with me, I wish I had, something cooler to wear, I wish I had a nice car to drive once I left here, not where I want to be in life right now. So the mind is giving you problems for things that aren't problems. It's just your perspective and the way you see it. Now, it's not a bad thing, right? Don't feel shameful that you overthink too much. I used to be the most overthinking person ever, and I started to realize that it's literally just holding me back. Used to be not as much in the mind, but it is glamorized nowadays to be the thinker, to be smart. If someone isn't always thinking, they're looked as dumb and idiot. Like, oh my god, he's not thinking. He is just living and not thinking of anything. It's like, no, you're just enjoying life. Like, there's no need to think for all this stuff. I mean, sometimes you do have to think and you do have to plan, but most of us is just useless bickering of the mind. It's just yapping. It's the yapper. He yaps way too much and it's out of control. We're so overstimulated all the time. And most of us have office jobs, or we study and we're in school. Let's say, for example, back in the day, if there was immediate danger, when you got the anxiety or all that stuff, all those emotions that you get nowadays when something bad happens, you would act up on it because maybe there was an animal that could attack you, whatever. You'd run away, you'd fight, and then you'd expel all that excess energy there and then. Now, it's just imagination. You get a fucking email, you get all this anxiety and you're worried and now you're stressed, but it's not real. It's just an email. You type it away. And now, instead of being in the body and expelling out that energy, you're in the mind. So you've actually strengthened that mind connection where you're just overthinking all the time. I don't know the science to explain all this, but I feel like if you can just grasp it and, not need to over complicate everything, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about, where you're studying, you're worried about your exams, but there's no physical immediate threat. So you're just stuck in the mind. And this makes you overthink in life all the time. You know what? It is a bit of a tough cookie to stay grounded nowadays, but the way to do this is just to go back into the body and stop overanalyzing everything. Try to be a little bit more on the dumber side. Try not to think too much. Just chill out, which is easier said than done. But try to go back into the inner body, which is that energetic field that you feel. You can feel the inside of your body. It's just like whatever, like my hand, it's connected to me. I'm not moving or touching anything, but I know that it's connected because I feel it. Like that little energy that you feel. That's what I'm talking about. And there's different things that I do, but basically the more you can get into the body and really focus, you'll feel a lot more present and you'll stop overthinking so much. And when you stop overthinking so much, then you're not going to have all these problems. They're just illusions, which means they're just not what they seem, because you give meaning to life. Life really doesn't have any meaning. except for the one that you give it to, are the world's most beautiful artist. You're here to give life meaning, right? That tree over there could be a beautiful sign of peace and loving and nature and all the beautiful things in the world. Or just someone who, I don't know, maybe they're trying to climb the tree and they fell. Now it's an evil ass tree, because you're the one that gives it the meaning. And nowadays, all of these things in life, you're given that meaning by what you see on TV, by what you're told by politicians, by what you're told all around you. So you never get to give life the meaning that you want. So you can really just choose whatever you want to give this meaning. This tree is a sign of hope. You know what I mean? I just gave it that meaning. To me, the experience, I'm here to be. I am here to give the universe, it's the universe experiencing itself, right? We're made out of stardust. We're made from stars. We literally come from the earth, and we're the only ones that think we're separate from the earth. But really, we're also just animals that developed, and we started to overthink way too much, and we think that we're separate from everything. Like, we'll see an animal, like a little squirrel, and we'll think, I'm better than that squirrel. That's an animal, not me. I'm special. I am divine. But it's like, no, you're made out of you're made out of very similar materials as that. It just doesn't have quite the awareness that you have. You have the ability to be like, oh, I am me. That squirrel is just a squirrel. He just is. Remember, when you start to overthink, go back into the inner body, feel it. And the easiest thing is, like, if you're walking, focus on your feet touching the ground. Especially if you get anxious when there's crowds nearby, literally just focus on your feet touching the ground, and that's all you care about. Then that anxiety goes away, because you're not thinking about stupid shit like, what are they thinking about me? Your awareness is put to them, and it's a made up. It's just anxiety. But when you're focused on your feet touching the ground, that's the only thing you care about, and you're able to process things without overthinking. If you're sitting in a desk, feel your ass touch the chair, or literally feel your fingers touch the keyboards, and focus on all these little things, because use your senses to your advantage. Help them ground you and lock in. That way you're not in the mind where you're constantly overthinking shit, and it just, it gets you kind of like, all fogged up. You're like, ooh, brain fog. But in reality, you're just overthinking it. And when you start doing this, when you start living through the inner body, you kind of get more energy. You're able to do things. That's why, have you ever hit a sick ass workout and you're so in the zone, you feel so alive, you feel so close to God? You feel so alive, and that is because you're on the body. You're really pushing yourself to the limits, where the mind has time to just turn off, and you're able to just experience what is. Look at this. Just don't judge. Just look. Just be aware. Don't label. Just notice the small details. Give it a shot. I think you'll really enjoy it. Go back into the inner body. Just try to stop thinking as much. Don't pride yourself in overthinking. And you'll actually have the energy to go and do the things that you need. And you'll actually be able to act from, intuition. Instead of, just from straight up reaction. You'll just go. You'll have a thought. You'll be inspired, and you'll just go. There's not the overthinking of, should I do it? Should I not? Should I just go?